Help! He sabotaged my boat and left me stranded, screamed Ellen Harper, the HOA president, into her 911 call, her voice trembling as she sat in my stolen speedboat at 2 a.m. The sheer audacity was jaw-dropping. She'd taken my boat without permission, then spun a wild tale to the authorities, painting me as the villain. What Ellen didn't realize was that I could track and control every move she made from my phone. She thought she was delivering a lesson in neighborhood compliance, but she was about to face the most humiliating reality check of her life. This is the electrifying true story of the most outrageous HOA meltdown ever recorded. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Have you ever clashed with an overzealous HOA president? 6 months ago, I thought I'd found paradise when I bought my lakefront home at Crystal Lake. My name's Nathan Carter, 38, a tech entrepreneur who just sold my startup. I swapped my suffocating city apartment for a spacious house with a killer view. The real perk? My morning commute. Instead of slogging through 2 hours of traffic, I zipped across the lake in my speedboat, lightning. In just 15 minutes, blue water, crisp air, and the roar of a finely tuned engine. It was freedom, a far cry from gridlock and smog. But Ellen Harper had other plans for my slice of heaven. At 62, she'd ruled the HOA for 8 years, ever since her husband George passed, leaving her a sprawling lakeside mansion and, apparently, an itch to control everyone else's life. A retired librarian, Ellen's obsession with rules and her hatred of anything louder than a whisper defined her. Living alone, her only pastime seemed to be making her neighbors' lives miserable, always armed with a clipboard, ready to pounce on the slightest infraction. The trouble began in my first week when Ellen sent me a welcome letter, 12 pages of HOA rules, highlighted like a legal brief. I skimmed it, chuckled at her thoroughness, and filed it away, thinking that was that. Week 2 brought a complaint about my boat's engine supposedly exceeding 65 dB. I checked the manual, 58 dB, well within limits. I emailed her the specs, expecting to clear things up. Ellen didn't care for facts. Week 3, she claimed my dock extended 3.2 feet beyond regulations, complete with photos and a measuring tape for proof. I measured, it was spot on. Week 4's complaint was the most absurd yet. My life jacket, hanging on my balcony, allegedly violated aesthetic standards. I checked the sided rouleau-covered lawn furniture, not safety gear. My patience was thinning, but I stayed civil. Then came the incident that became neighborhood legend. Ellen, determined to catch me in the act, hid behind a tree with a telephoto camera, like some amateur detective. Spotting her as I headed to my boat, I waved and called, "Morning, Ellen. Great day for photos." She flinched, tripped over her tripod, and splashed into the lake's shallows, her pricey camera sinking with a plop. Despite my frustration, I waded in to help her up and retrieve her ruined gear. "Just documenting wildlife," she sputtered, mascara streaking her face. "Must be fascinating," I grinned, handing her the soggy camera. Neighbors peeked from their windows as Ellen stormed off, humiliated. That's when I knew this wouldn't end with polite emails. The monthly HOA meeting was a showdown. Ellen unveiled a PowerPoint, the Nathan Carter problem, a threat to community values, complete with charts, noise data from a phone app, and a 47-point violation list. Only 12 residents showed, but she lectured like she was at a global summit. I sat quietly, then stood with a folder. Article 2, Section 3. Boats under 25 feet can operate from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Lightning's 22 feet, used 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Section 4.1. Private docks aren't subject to spacing rules. Section 4.7. That's about patio furniture, not life jackets. Ellen's face flushed as residents murmured agreement, her 8-year grip on the room slipping. "You think you're clever with loopholes?" she snapped. "Not loopholes, Ellen. Just the rules." That night, I upgraded my boat app, originally for maintenance to include GPS tracking, diagnostics, and remote engine controls. If Ellen wanted war, I'd be ready. Her documentation phase followed, a descent into obsession. She hired a shady private investigator, Carl, who charged $50 a day and drove a beat-up sedan. Carl's first day was a fiasco. I waved from my window, and he spilled coffee in a panic. Day 2, I caught him hiding behind trees during my jog. "You must be Carl." Ellen mentioned community monitoring. I offered water. Bird watching, he mumbled. Blue-footed lakebird. Great blue heron. I corrected, laughing. By day 3, Carl was at a coffee shop, faking notes. Ellen, undeterred, went bureaucratic, filing complaints with noise control. My boat tested at 54 dB. The Coast Guard, they praised my safety record. And the EPA, they lauded the lake's cleanliness. Each failure fueled her paranoia that I'd bribed officials. By week 6, Ellen snapped. At midnight, dressed in black yoga pants, she crept to my dock, caught on my new security cameras. She tripped, honked the boat's horn, and fumbled with the engine, Googling how to sabotage a boat. She poured sand into a cup holder, thinking it was the gas tank, and left a confidential envelope her idea of evidence. Her pants snagged, she lost a shoe, and limped off muttering, "That'll teach him." Reviewing the footage, I felt pity but knew she'd escalate. I called my friend, Officer Tom Reed. "She's gone from annoying to criminal," I said. "Want to press charges?" "Not yet. Let her trap herself." We planned. I upgraded Lightning's GPS, added a remote shut-off, left a spare key and fake documents, cookie recipes, and set an alibi out of town. Ellen's breaking point came when 18 residents petitioned for her removal, citing harassment and abuse of power. Alone, wine in hand, she stared at my boat, muttering, "He started this." At 1 a.m., she grabbed the key and stole Lightning, drunk on power as she hit 50 miles per hour across the lake. "This is control," she shouted. I watched via GPS, texting Tom. "She's loving it." "How long?" he replied. "Let her think she's won." At 1:27 a.m., I killed the engine. Silence hit like a brick. Ellen, nearly thrown overboard, screamed as Lightning drifted. Panicked, she called 911. "Nathan sabotaged me. He controls the boat with an app." She claimed I'd lent her the boat, then trapped her. The operator probed, and her story crumbled. "It's his boat, but we had an arrangement." Tom reached her at 1:45 a.m., towing Lightning as Ellen rambled about my attempted murder. Her contradictions piled up. She took the boat twice, or maybe once. I was out of town, but somehow gave permission. At the station, I played confused. Permission? She was accusing me at the HOA meeting. Ellen waved the spare key. "You left it on my boat, which you boarded without permission," I countered. Tom played the footage. Ellen sneaking, stealing, laughing maniacally. "That's theft," he said. Ellen cried entrapment, but Tom noted my app was standard anti-theft tech. Her 911 lies claiming I lured her sealed her fate. "Fine, I took it, but he deserved it," she spat. Within 48 hours, Crystal Lake buzzed with the scandal. Ellen's email, claiming I'd framed her, backfired. The HOA voted 34-0 to oust her. Her $500 lawyer argued entrapment, but the judge wasn't buying it. "You stole a boat, lied, and wasted resources." Ellen got probation, fines, 200 hours of service, and a restraining order. She sold her house at a loss and fled to a condo, where her bid for tenant board president flopped. Crystal Lake transformed under new HOA leader Mrs. Evans, who banned petty complaints and surveillance. Property values soared 12%. I became a local hero, my cameras repurposed for community safety. 6 months later, Mrs. Evans gathered us for a surprise. Tom had bought Ellen's old house. "Our own officer," neighbors cheered. At our first community safety day, we taught boat safety and celebrated unity. A cryptic text maybe from Ellen pinged my phone. "Hope you're happy." I deleted it, focusing on kids playing, Tom grilling, and a for sale sign across the lake. Background check. I nudged Tom. "Already on it," he grinned. Crystal Lake was perfect, but Ellen's shadow lingered. Did I go too far, baiting her downfall? Or did she earn every consequence? Comment. Was I a hero for outsmarting her, or was this karma for her tyranny?